So I know I put in a couple times the link to the agenda. I'm sure either Tiffany or Andrea will be able to for people that are just joining us. So as always, the survey is at the top and at the bottom. The link here where it's the title is actually a slideshow as usual. I know this is mostly what I had briefly touched on before. There's ways students can use Google Drawings, ways to get creative, like different types of activities you can do with examples of each, and then a bunch of templates. So the first thing is it's about 20 minutes. This is Google Drawings for beginners. It's way more technical than I am. But it's a very good introduction. I mean, he walks you through step by step. There's also this link here that says Guide to Google Drawings, and it is literally like hyperlinked. You can pick exactly what you want, but if not, you could just scroll through and it will show you like step by step how to click on things and how to do things. And then I'm also always at your disposal, as is Tiffany and Andrea. So the first question, how to find Google Drawings. There's actually several ways to do it. The old school way, the original way, is to go into your drive, to click on new, and then more, and then you can see there's your Google Drawings right there. That's a little bit too many steps for me. There's actually some people like to type in addresses, docs.google.com/drawings. I actually have a couple of extensions. I know that I talked about this one before. It's called Google Docs Quick Create. And if I click on it, I can create any one of these, a brand new document, spreadsheet, slides, new drawing, new form. And I actually just found a new one. This one's actually called Create New Google Docs, which is just the same, except for it has a shortcut to Google Drive, which I'm loving. So are there any questions so far?
Nope.
Okay.
I just posted your link again. That was all.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New Drawing, and you can see that it opens up to a blank drawing. A couple things. You can see it's kind of like almost like a checkerboard pattern. It means that it's transparent. The background is transparent. So anything that you put on it, as long as you don't have a background behind it, and if you share it as a PNG, it will be transparent. So it'll be almost like a sticker on top of something. It won't have a background. On each side, there's a gray area, which you can use. Like basically, you can have directions over here for your students. They're not going to see it until they open it up, and it's not going to be like if you wanted to print this or whatever, none of that would print. But just to let you know that it is a usable space for directions if you wanted to. You actually also have the option in Google Drawing, or to do Google Drawings in Google Docs. Sorry about that. So if I were to create a new document, all I have to do is click on Insert. You see how it says Drawing right here? So I can either choose to create a new one on the fly as I'm making my document. I do that a lot. Let's say I take a screenshot and I want to add some arrows or some explanation to it. There's really no other way to do that in Google Docs. Or I can have an existing one from Drive and put it in there. So I would just go ahead and click New. And you see how within Google Docs, here is my Google Drawing. So I don't have that background area, that workable area, but I can definitely create something here. When I click Save and Close, it will save it to wherever my cursor was prior to me opening this up. Are there any questions?
There's a question that says, how would you insert the directions?
How would I
in the
insert?
drawing? Like in the drawing where you said in the gray area, you can put directions.
Oh, okay. So
I believe that's what the question was for.
Okay, so I could go ahead and I could do a couple things. I could just create a text box.
I can't see your screen anymore.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. You see me now?
Yes.
Okay, so I could go ahead and click right here and create a text box and just go ahead and type directions, and then it would have a transparent background. Or I could go ahead and add a shape. Say I want a square or a rectangle. And you see when I create a shape that it automatically has a fill color and it has a border. Right here is the fill color, so I can go ahead and change that to any color that I want. Say I want this to be like attention grabbing. I could change the border to be the same, or I could make it transparent. If I right click on that shape, you see it says edit text. So I can go ahead and edit and write whatever I want to inside, much like in Google Slides.
So there's a question that says, can two students work on this together from two different devices?
Yes, if it is shared between the two of them, it is. Yes, they can. If you want them to. But depending on the activity, though, I would be careful about that, because if they're creating a timeline, I don't know. It's just like anything else. Like, I don't know if you've worked in Google Docs or Google Sheets entering something. I know some teachers have had problems before. Excuse me, where it's a Google Sheet and then they don't realize that there's different tabs for different teachers and they write over each other's stuff and you have to go into the version history. So I would say maybe for older kids, it would be better. Yeah, does that make sense?
I think even two kids, if you shared this with two students and they were creating a collaborative project, a drawing or something, that might be good, but I probably wouldn't give it to more than two personally.
Yes, I would agree with that. And I think that because it's a creative option, first of all, you can give them pre-made templates, but if they're creating their own, I think the kids enjoy doing their own. I know I haven't gotten that far, but I'm just gonna go ahead and skip ahead. Like, I made a Google Classroom for this webinar, and you could see that I actually made in drawings the header. I know some teachers have their kids, their students, create Google Classroom headers for their different classes like math, science, whatever. And then they have those as a collection to rotate throughout the year. So then when they open it up, they can get excited that they were the one that did whatever. Okay, back to this. So you can see that this is transparent and I can move it around. But this, because it's red, it kind of like catches your eye more. And I think that if you consistently do things like this, it'll definitely, kids will get used to the directions being there. And I'll show you some examples in a few minutes, if that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and go back here. So just like in Google Slides, you can change the size of your Google drawing. Again, just the same way, if you go to File and then Page Setup, you can see the standard size is a ratio of 4:3. You can do widescreen, and there's another widescreen, or custom is where you're going to be able to make it what you want. So say that you want students, you can see you have again, always the option of inches, centimeters, points, or pixels. Sometimes if you're doing something very specific, like a Google Classroom header, it will tell you exactly how many pixels it needs to be. So you have the option of doing that. And you can see that that's what this is. I can go ahead and switch back to inches to say that I want students to create a poster and I want it to be landscape. So I could do 11 by 8.5. And you can see that it's bigger. It all depends on what I want to do. If I wanted to, say, make a screen avatar, like my little picture that I have in Google, I know that this is the one that I used, was 3.13 by 3.13. and you see that it's smaller and it's a square. It all depends on what you're trying to do. You could see that the Google Classroom header was a long rectangle. That was the size that it needs to be able to fit. Are there any questions about changing the size?
Not right now.
Okay. So I labeled the toolbar tools. Again, are my best friend: undo, redo. The ability to print, paint format. That's very similar to in slides and in Google Docs. Like, say if I'm using this red font and I go to open a new text box and type in it and it's black, I could go ahead and copy the paint format and it will make my font the same. Zoom in and out is very important, especially if you're getting super artistic, which I'm not able to do, just because I'm not artistically talented like that. Select is basically if you're clicking on something to be able to move it. Lines, which I'll show you, there's many options. Shapes, text box, insert images, which there's options there as well, and then adding a comment. That's just the basic options that you have. So again, for lines, you can see that I could have a line, an arrow, an elbow connector, a curved connector, a curved line, a polyline, which is great for if you're trying to trace the outline of something or make specific shapes, or scribble. As far as shapes, it's very similar to all of the other Google programs. But again, to remember, if we right click on them, we can edit the text on them, and then it will move as one. Just like, sorry, I have to go back to select. Just like this, it will move as one. Okay. So the insert options in Google Drawings, you can see we have the choice of image, and if we do that, we have the choice to upload from our computer, search the web, which is always fun. And so I can find all of these, say that I want a dinosaur that has a transparent background. I just add PNG to the back. And I could either click and drag, or I can click on it and click insert. This is easier for me. And then it's gonna go ahead and load my dinosaur. And I can resize it as I wish, put it where I want it to go. Sorry about that. Again, we have text box shapes. You can add tables, just like anything. You're making a worksheet on here. Charts or graphs, again, from Sheets would be the ideal place to get it. Diagrams, word art, and then lines again. You can link any item just like in Google Slides. Special characters, like if you wanted to add, I know I had arrows on one of mine, and then adding comments again. Arranging the order becomes important. I don't know if anyone ever worked on Microsoft Publisher before, but say that I drag in a couple of my dinosaurs here. Because I put this one in second, if I put them next to each other, oh, it doesn't have a transparent background, awesome. So you see how it covers itself up? Say that I wanted his feet to go over on top, I would just go to arrange, order, and then bring that to the front. You have to think of the pictures or the items as layers. I know that's not a great example, but I'm just kind of going with things at the moment. Are there any questions about that? You can see.
There's a question that said, would you put these drawings into the Google Slides, or is this separate like a PowerPoint?
We have a couple options depending on what it is. You can assign these in Google Classroom as an activity. You can go ahead and if I wanted to have this in Google Slides, I would go to File and then Download. And then I have these options here. I could download it as a PDF, as a JPEG. I would probably want to do as a PNG because that keeps that transparent background. or a scalable vector graphic, which is, if you're more, it translates well. It doesn't pixelate. But I would probably choose a PNG. And then it's down here in my downloaded things. I could go back to my Google Slides. I could go ahead, upload from computer, go to my downloads, and there it is. If I keep it as a, you see why I kept as a PNG, you can see that transparent background. If I kept it as a drawing, I can't really do much with it except in Google Drawings. If I download it as something else, then I could go ahead and I could use this picture anywhere. I could use it as my avatar. I could use it in my Google Slides. I could use it wherever I wanted to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So would you think of it as like a sticker that you could put places? Okay.
It could be. Definitely that's an option. And I was going to show, I'll just go ahead and do it now. I know that you're doing badging. There's actually this article that's talking about creating badges with Google Drawings so that you can reward students for things. Definitely stickers. That way you can put them on top of student work. You could put them in Google Drawings, et cetera, et cetera. And then the up or the down arrow or the right or the left arrow, you can see that if I'm moving it myself, sometimes I'm a little, I can't get it quite right where I want it to be. But if I click shift and down, you see how it goes like super duper slow. And then, oh my gosh, that's exactly where I want it. Shift and then to the right. It's just like a little one space at a time. And then you can get it exactly as you want it. You also have, I'm not gonna be able to find it. Because I was playing with it last night. Here we go. If you go to view, you can put in guides. If you click show guides, it will show you directly the center in both directions. You can also take that off if you don't want that there. I could tell you that if you are moving it, you see how I get like a red line there? That's telling me that that's centered. And if I'm trying to line them up with each other, you could see the red line shows me that that right edge of one picture is the same as the right edge of the other. So there are little helpful tools inside of the drawings that are going to help you to be a master. Heaven knows I'm not artistic at all. The next thing, grouping items. If you select multiple items together and then right click on and then click group, you can then move it as one. So I'm going to show you an example. So I used a Bitmoji here. You could see, can I help you? This does not look like I want to help anyone, right? So what I did was I went into the Bitmoji and I went to the happy one and I tried to find one that had a face that was similar. So I actually used this one that had you could see if I click here, that I actually cropped it. It had that little #1 sticker. And then go ahead and resize it. And I put it on here, which now I won't be able to do. So it looks like it's actually supposed to be like that. I know it's not exactly perfect. But if I wanted to move this right now, that's not going to work unless I group them together. So if I select all of it, you can see that it's two images together, and I right click, I can click group, and then they are now together. The only thing you have to be careful of is if there's something next to it and you do that, sometimes it will attach it to that. So it'll be more than what you wanted to group together. Are there any questions about that?
Nope.
Okay. So right now, I would like for you guys to go to Google Classroom and then go ahead and join the classroom that I have. It's SD, the number 2, ODIU. The reason why we're doing this is I would like you guys to practice with Google Drawings. So what we're going to do today is something basically like you would have the students do at the beginning of the year, all about me. I want you to include 5 items that would tell people about you, like maybe either where you're from or your favorite place, maybe where you went to college, maybe about your family, you have any pets, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So if you join, you can go ahead and see in the classwork section, we have this all about me. If you click on there, everyone will have their own copy of the Google Drawings, and they'll be able to start working on it. I don't know if anyone's actually joined yet. Oh, there's a couple people. Awesome. And you can see that I have actually different templates that I'm sharing with you guys. So we can see in here collaborative notes templates. Let me go ahead and open this one. So you can see that you would be able to use this. This is an example of something that you might want to have small groups like brainstorming collaboratively, whoever was asking about having the students work on the same ones. I know I have this, is comic books. There's like a whole bunch of them. And you can see that there's directions in here for a teacher, but it could easily be the same for a student. And the cool thing about this is that now, I mean, I could change any of these words. I could change whatever I wanted to. Again, for your use or for your students. I have so many more templates, it's ridiculous, actually. Let's try to do that. But I didn't have time to share them all. Vocabulary templates. There's a bunch of different versions of the Frayer model, different other things. Trying to think of, I think it might have been under the magazine templates. No, I know what it was the brochure. So you could see that this is an example of a National Geographic. So you could have the kids change the picture, change the news articles on the front, create the inside, create the article. I'm pretty sure that it was under actually brochures. No, I am such a liar. Here it is. Okay, so you can see that this is to make a poster. So you can see that all on the outside, the background here that is not printable or viewable outside of being in here, there's a bunch of different teacher directions. They made different colors with steps of what to do. So if I were to want to go ahead and print this, you can see that all you see is that main section. But the kids can see the directions for what they're supposed to be doing in here. So again, yay, there's lots of people in. How is that possible? Okay, so Tiffany, I'm not understanding this. It says I assign that each student will get a copy, and then when I looked at student work, it says that Mark and Greg don't, and Andrea don't have copies. Or did they not?
I didn't have a copy either. I added my own.
Okay.
See, mine says 2 attachments. I couldn't see the attachment.
I'm sorry about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I see it's there, and I see it says 2, but when I went into mine, there was
Okay.
nothing there.
So if you don't see it there, then if you could, it says create. Go ahead and click create, and then choose Google Drawings, and then just go ahead and add five items that will tell us about you.
Do you want to show how they can search the web for an image? I missed if you showed that.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
So if you go to either here where it has the little picture image, you can search the web there. If you go to insert image, it'll be right there. If you go to tools, see that little thing that says explore? That'll search your documents and the web for anything. So I could go ahead, if I knew how to click in the search bar, and search for anything. And you see that I have choices from images or my drive if I use Explore. So I could go ahead and drag anything in. You might also want to, actually I'm going to make this bigger. You might actually also want to play with the lines, like maybe make a web or something. Play with shapes. You could label things. And again, make sure that you play with the fill color and the border color, or you're making it transparent. If I want to make that border super thick, I just click on the lines next to it. I click on this, make it a dotted line. Whatever it is that you want.
Is there an easy way to make images transparent on here?
Make images transparent?
Yeah, so like you have a couple dinosaurs there that have white backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Can we make those transparent? Because I know
the easiest way to do that, and it is easy, but it's not easy, is if you go to remove.bg, but you would have to have it somewhere on your computer. So if I have a picture of anything, like say I have this clip art and it's a piece of chalk, but then it has a white background, I can go ahead and drop it, and it will literally, see how it had a background here. Now it has that checkerboard background, and it is transparent. It's a PNG, and then I could download it, and then I will have it. As far as in drawings itself, I try to use PNG transparent, and then hope and pray that this one is actually, sometimes it's easier to go actually out to Google itself and do an image search. So if I search for my pineapples here and I go to images, I can click on tools and then click on color and choose transparent. And that will give me pictures that have a transparent background. I can also choose pictures that are labeled for reuse if I would like to do so. And then again, if I have my groovy little save to Google Drive extension, all I have to do is right click on the pictures I want, and then I could go ahead and save it directly to my Google Drive. Again, I would want to make sure I save the image, not the link. And you can see that it's uploading it right there. Cool. I'm just looking in. This looks awesome, Kristen. Nice. Had to know that there would be a beach there, Andrea. Oh, Heather, I love it. Love the Bitmoji too. Nice, John. Digging your color theme too. Oh, I love it. Beautiful, Gail. But this is the cool thing about Google Classroom. Whether you're in the same room or doing distance learning, you can watch your students live as they are working on items. So as you're working, are there any questions that are coming up? Sounds like we're having fun.
I'm having lots of fun.
So I'm just looking at some of the other, I mean, I'm going to put these into the Google Classroom. I just didn't have time to do it all. These are some other options, like for social studies, timeline of Harriet Tubman, and you can see that the directions are off to the side. So this will be the actual finished product that you could hang in your hallway or whatever.
JT said this is the most artistic thing I've done in a long time. And he asked, where did you find the timeline template?
I'm not
shared that, correct?
sure.
So
I will share it. Yes, I will. I'm going to end up putting all of these into the Google Classroom. That's why once you've joined, if you go back in, you'll be able to see it. But I didn't have time to do because I have so many. It's kind of a little scary.
Are those maps templates too?
Yes.
Those
this is
are
10
cool.
things to know about the Supreme Court. Just a bunch of different things. These are just my social studies ones. Science. I mean, there's things here that gives me high school chemistry nightmares. Labeling different things. Yeah, so I have so many, but again, there wasn't enough time last night to put all these in there. I will though, I swear. One of these that's fun is the social media templates. So you know the kids love that. Facebook. Even though Facebook itself is updated since then. I'm sure you guys have seen an example of this, a fake text message conversation between different characters.
So she asked, Gail asked, as a student, once this is done, how do I send it to you?
There should be, and I believe in the top right, unless they updated that as well. Tiffany, you'll know more than I right now. I believe in the top right there was something that said submit, but
do you want me to show that?
Yes, please.
Okay. So give me 1 second.
That's like one of the biggest pet peeves I have in Google Classroom is that the kids don't come back and turn it in. So teach your students how to do that because it is, they reshare it with me and then I have 8,000 copies of it.
Yeah.
So make sure you teach them to come back and turn it in.
And I also see how I had made a copy. I actually deleted Rachel's template so she didn't see 2 assignments when she came in. And then right after that, I hit turn in. But when I came in here, it just said, it didn't say anything, and I just added a drawing. So if you gave directions for them to create a drawing, you would just hit add and then drawing. But she did it, and then I'm just going to hit turn in over on the right. And that's where, if I want to work on it again, I can unsubmit it. Just be aware that if somebody unsubmits work and it's after your time, it will then show late, that it's in a late assignment. So I'm going to give it back to you, Rachel. And thank you for sharing, Heather. I can't hear you, Rachel.
I just realized that, and then I couldn't find the setting because, you know. So I can see that these people have turned it in, and these people are still working, which is awesome. Oh, I have to think about. I actually saw this cool. Now it's probably unfindable. Let's see if I can. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. So there's actually a e-learning template that I saw yesterday. It was for Google Slides, but it said to actually add off to the side, and maybe over here would make more sense. So I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this. Control D, again, remember, is our friend. And then that to go ahead and add something off to the side, or add your final slide being make sure to submit in Google Classroom. And then, of course, you know that I have the picture for the logo for Google Classroom. And it is right where my bar is. So like I could have that off to the side. So it would be a nice reminder to them. That's just a suggestion, because I feel your frustration, Heather. Are there any other questions?
No, I just see a thanks.
Okay. Well, I know it's early, but I mean, there's so much stuff. Like, I'll show you this. If you go to YouTube and you look at vector portraits in Google Drawings, you can see that they were literally in drawings. Here's the picture, and then this is the portrait that they made. So if you are artistically inclined, I mean, there's a lot of videos that are like that. I know that if I don't click shift while I'm making a circle, it's not even going to be a circle. It'll be all kind of weird, but if I go ahead and click shift, thanks Guinness, you're not helping me. You see that it keeps its shape better. So there are little tips, and you can see those red lines. It's like helping me figure out how it is in relation to everything else. This is basically just the basics. For every item, you could go ahead and click format options. You have the option, I mean, to get super specific of how big you want that item to be, if you want it to be rotated, where exactly you want it to be, like seriously how many inches in, text fitting, drop shadow, and then again, you go ahead and choose how dark do you want that drop shadow to be, at what angle do you want it to be at. You can see that I'm moving it around. How far away do you want it to go? Whoa, that's way too much. How much do you want it to be blurred at the edge? Do you want it to be reflected down below? Yes or no? I mean, that's for every item. Again, I'm not super artistic, but you could totally make worksheets in here. Again, save them as a PDF or whatever, and then it all depends on what you want to do. Or, like I said, kids love to be creative. They don't have that, like I have the knowledge that I don't have certain skills. Kids are like, yeah, I can do that. I watched a YouTube video. So I guess my question to Tiffany and Andrea, is there anything you can think of that I didn't?
Why don't you show them like one of our stickers that we did? You know how you did our emojis? And we did one of those stickers.
Oh, for your classroom, like how did you make the classroom header?
No, I wasn't. Well, okay, you could do that too, but I was thinking, you know how we have our sticker and we did it in drawings?
Oh, for Sticker Mule.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
You can share that, Rachel.
If I can find it.
So just so you know, just so you know, Rachel was out on Twitter, and Sticker Mule, if you don't know who they are, they give out these amazing, crazy stickers, and she won, what was it, 50 of them?
Yes.
So we came up with a sticker that we have now that we could give away, and she made it in Google Drawings because that was one of the options for this company. And then they have sales all the time where you can get 50 stickers for like, I think it was, what was it, $15 or something?
Yeah.
And they are cut out stickers, and they are really, really cool. So, and you know how students love stickers. The other thing is you can also, if your office has Avery stickers, the round one, you could make your template in here and print them on the real sticker and give them to them in your class. Mark said, I love the fake text. I'm thinking having kids create a text message between two characters from a story. Yes. And what the characters are thinking about. That's a really cool idea.
So here I was able to find it. These are actually just Bitmojis. And then this is the logo that for Tech and the Yo that was actually made in Google Drawings. And then you could see that right here, I added that because part of Andrea's Bitmoji was still showing there, that like we couldn't crop it enough. So you know me. Perfectionistic, but you can make something really cute pretty easily. And I'm gonna go ahead. Maybe I should just get a new drawing because this is starting to get wild. So the Bitmojis, if you created a Bitmoji on your mobile device, and then you sign in, you add the extension and sign in. I was just saying that I just got the update that I can this is a weird statement, but water box. So you see that I can type my whatever I want and it'll give me Bitmojis. I don't know why I would ever want to type that, but that just came through yesterday and it's been an update for a while. I don't know how I finally lucked out to get it. So anyways, once you find one that you actually like say I want this one, I love the thumbs up, I can go ahead and drag it, either right click and copy and paste, or I could just drag it in. Say I like that, but I don't want the check mark. I could just double click to crop. I'm gonna have to grab the edges. Oops, you see that I grabbed the blue thing instead of the black line, which I do at least 3 times. So I got rid of that part. And then I got rid of that part. And I do have this green part here, but I could plan it as such that I have another picture that would cover over it, or I do have an extension called Color Pick Eyedropper that will help me to get that exact color. So I can go ahead and copy it. And then I can go and make a shape. That is a triangle. Ooh, except for that's not the right way. That's not what I want at all. Don't listen to me. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and just make a rectangle and put it here. I'm going to go ahead to the color drop and go to custom. Remember, I had saved. All I need to do is put, oops, I just did the wrong thing. All I need to do is push shift and make a number symbol and then go ahead and copy. You can see it's the exact same color. And I'm going to go ahead and make the border transparent. So if this was the bottom of my picture, again, you're not going to see this part. It looks like it blends in. And again, I'm not the artist. Is there anything else?
Do you have the, I think I have the extension. I don't know you. Just so you know, there is an extension that you can put on that will do color matching.
Yeah, that was the one that I have is called Color Pick Eyedropper.
Okay.
I think there's actually several.
Yeah, there's several. Yeah. I love that. That's pretty awesome. So, and I've seen where people are taking these Bitmojis and they're cutting them out and they're sending to their students, and the students are taking them around like Flat Stanley. It's like Flat Mr.
Yeah.
Ellis, and then they take pictures of them and they send them to the teachers. So you could
Yeah.
put your Bitmoji in here and then print it out and cut it out.
Yeah, I think you actually just get like a full body one. From what I have seen is that it's like a full body one. And then they actually take a selfie of their face. And then they like remove the background of the face and then they put it over on top of their Bitmoji. That's the one that I've seen anyways.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Do you know the dimensions of your header? So if, because Cheryl said do the header, can you tell her how to make, what the dimensions are for the header for a Google Classroom?
I actually have several. I think I have several. I'll put them in the Google Classroom. Let me say. Because there's one from Alice Keeler, there's one from the EdTech team. Yep, see, here's one. And so this one, hers, if you go to pixels, it says 1600 by 400. I know there was another one that had different numbers and it also worked. So I feel like whatever you have, you can, it's like when it comes up, you can choose an area or you can choose the whole thing. Definitely, you could use Bitmojis to make your own stickers.
I did see where somebody actually went in and took a picture of their classroom and then used a part of that picture as their header.
Nice.
So when the students saw it, it was actually a picture of their classroom.
And so when you go into your classroom, all you have to do is click upload photo. And then you could choose it from wherever, either drag it in or upload it from your computer.
But if you change the aspect ratio of your header, in the picture, you're only going to be able to pick a certain part. So just remember that.
Right. And remember that I can't just take this the way that it is, say that I put anything on it. I can't just take this and then drop it into my Google Classroom. Go download it as an image. So I'm going to choose the PNG, and then I could go into my Google Classroom and find it in my downloads, my groovy, glorious little thing. So I'll show you, see how it only has part of it. So then I could either choose part of it, or I can go ahead and drag, choose the whole thing. If I know how to let go of my mouse, and then select the class name. And there you go. But downloading is a very important part. Was there a question about that? Oh.
She just said
Okay.
neat. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think those are really cool items for teachers to use, and I know the students really like them.
And Alice Keeler actually has one that has the finger that says click on the classwork tab, but the classwork tab had moved, so I had to like trial and error it. So
Oh, you had to move the finger to where you needed
yeah,
it in your...
the finger was like about under people, so I had to like shift things over.
I see. But she gave you that template that you could use for free, the finger?
Definitely, and I'll add that into this
Awesome.
classroom.
Thank you.
Because like you said, why reinvent the wheel? when it's out
Don't
there?
reinvent the wheel. I know. People are already going to do the work for you. Steal it.
And I feel bad if you have a lot of things to blur.
I don't think you hadn't used any students.
No.
So we're okay.
No.
But yeah, thank you very much. This is really good. So much potential for this.
I still can't believe that you guys didn't show up. Ooh, I'm gonna see what you're doing. Nice. Ooh, those are dangerous shoes. I love it.
It was
though.
5
Cool.
things that I really like about me. So there you go.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Ooh, I love the dogs.
I can't hear them, just so you know.
Oh, I was looking at Gail's picture.
Nicole said she needs those shoes for her class someday. And Kristen said, thanks so much. She learned a lot.
That's good. I know for me, being not artistic, I always thought Google Drawings was not something that I could do. But I mean, just to give JT's example, like this would be a great graphic organizer, depending on what they put into it or what you had students put into it. So, and that's kind of why I chose the Google Classroom, so that I could try to give you guys the resources that I have.
That was really great. Thank you. Oh, look at Heather's little working from home.
Oh my gosh, look at your dog, Andrea.
I was trying to find them all, but we're working on it.
Oh, Greg, I could tell so much about you.
Yeah, JT, this would be a great way for you to start making your own graphic organizers. Exactly. And then you can put them wherever you want. You can save them forever and they're yours. Oh, Kristen, that was cute. I love your Bitmoji.
Wow, Nicole, that's cool. I love Golden Girls.
Yes.
So true.
I love that kids don't learn from people they don't like. That is a true story.
Mm-hmm. You guys did awesome. See, you did all that. I bet you didn't know that you were going to do that this morning. But it's just like anything else, just like slides and everything else. The more you practice, the easier it gets.